Today, we're going to be upgrading the Abzan armor Precon. The commander is Felothar the Steadfast. 1, a white, a black, and a green for a 0/5 legendary human warrior with each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have defender, and then 3 and tap, sacrifice another creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness, and then discard cards equal to its power. My name is Howie.
I'm Levi. This is Northwest Magic.
That's right. We're going to get right into it. 10 cards in, 10 cards out, like all upgrade videos that you guys have ever seen do. It's a crazy concept, right?
Not reinventing the wheel here, just greasing it.
Right in to the ads. You ready for this? And I'm not talking about advertisements. Number 1. You like that, huh? I think that this is a sweet card in this list. It's called Oran Frostfang. You know the card? It's a snow creature snake. 3 green for a snake. I just said that. For a 2/6. That's a lot of toughness. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So you really don't want to run out of gas. Your commander draws you cards, but you have to sacrifice your stuff for it, and you're kind of wanting to commit to the board, so I don't think that we want to be sacrificing as much as maybe it kind of implies. So we're going to draw cards other ways, and I think this is a great include.
Yeah, and it just gives them death touch, too. Just helps. One of my favorite walls, which isn't a wall, is a Tree of Perdition.
I spent this whole time not talking to my microphone. I hope that was okay.
That's fine. Tree of Perdition, 3 and a black, creature plant, defender, and then it can tap to exchange its toughness with a person's life total, which is with an opponent's life total. With an opponent's life total. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really it. That's so cool. And it fits the bill. I mean, 13 toughness. That's pretty good. That's 13 power to attack with, too.
I mean, it might end up being 40 power.
It might even end up being 40 power if you decide to swap somebody.
I mean, I know I just talked about not leaning into the sacrifice that Felothar has on itself, but like if you said draw 40, discard 0, I'd be down.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of this thing. It's awesome. The next, I love this card. I talk about it all the time. Fecund Green Shell. I didn't know until right now that it was an elemental, even though I love it. Elemental Turtle, 4/6. It's 3 green. That's 5 mana. Has reach. As long as you control 10 or more lands, creatures you control get +2/+2. That's even more toughness, believe it or not. Whenever Fecund Green Shell or another creature you control with toughness greater than its power enters, that's a lot. That's every card in this deck almost. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, put it into your hand. That's pretty cool. It's ramp and card draw, and it does it by itself. And late game, it's a pump. It does basically everything we want. And yeah. I don't know how many of you viewers out there have seen the actual Precon deck list. We're not going to go over it too much in detail here, but the average mana value, it's pretty high. There's a good amount of 6, 7, 8s, 5s, a lot of 4s in there. So we want to make sure that we have enough lands to maybe double spell or at least cast the big stuff. So this will help us get there.
Yeah, I left some of the, not me, we, as in us, a team of people, left.
Crazy how that works, huh?
A couple of the mana dorks in here that like have a ways to make lots of mana because of how high this mana value curve is.
Yeah.
Value. Just like what I like. Speaking of value, I love nothing more than some card draw. You're casting a lot of creatures. Well, say hello to Beast Whisperer if you haven't ever met him. 2 and 2 green for an elf druid. Does not have defender. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Well, a lot of walls and a lot of creatures with defender are. And it incidentally is a 2/3, so, you know, you get... It could be a 3/3 when it's attacking. That's pretty sick. Just more card draw. Who doesn't love more card draw?
And in the same vein, Guardian Project. whenever a non... What does it do? Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control, or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card, which you never will. I mean, maybe in some sort of copy deck, but not here. So the deal with Beast Whisperer and Guardian Project, I don't know if you noticed this, Levi, the base Abzan Armor Precon deck list has 41 creatures in it. I don't know if I've ever seen a Precon
That's a lot of creatures.
with that many creatures in it. And we are cutting a total of 7 and adding 8. So really, we have 42 creatures by the end of this.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot. So those will be triggering all the time. And card draw is important.
Yeah. Those two are just real good. I know your commander draws, but it's just so nice to have more options. Speaking of some options, the Necro Bloom. 1 white, black, green. Landfall whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. Create a 0/1 green plant creature token. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Instead, land cards in your graveyard have Dredge 2.
And it's a 2/7.
And it's a 2/7.
And I really want to live the dream. I want to live the dream where you play the Necrobloom into a fecund green shell.
It sounds so bad.
And you don't make any 2/2 zombies. You don't hit that threshold, and you just make a bunch of 0/1 plants and trigger fecund green shell over and over again. You just end up getting a bunch of lands, dude. It could be awesome.
That's a sick little combo we got going on here.
Yeah, it is. Huge fan. Anyway, we're also going to be adding 6. Any deck, dude, I think 6 is the most impactful card of last year. Maybe not in general, but like I see it everywhere. I feel like we've put it in almost every green Precon upgrade video we've done since it came out. 2 and a green for a legendary creature, Tree Folk. It's a 2/4. Reach, whenever 6 attacks, mill 3. You may put a land card from among them into your hand, and as long as it's your turn, non-land permanent cards in your graveyard have Retrace, which means you can discard a land card in addition to its other costs. Super awesome, useful in a variety of decks. Extra useful here as it's effectively a 3-mana 4/4. That's pretty good.
And you're gonna be sacrificing some creatures maybe sometime. So hey, there you go.
Yeah, play them again.
Play them again. Pretty darn good. Speaking of some recursion, we got Dusk to Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn. That movie's pretty good. 2 white for a sorcery, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. And then you have the Dawn side. I'm just gonna twist my head a little bit. Aftermath. Cast this spell only from your graveyard. Then exile it. Return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. A lot of your guys have power 2 or less because they're walls and weird stuff like that.
Yeah, and there are some creatures in the deck that have 3 or more power, so they might die to Dusk. But like in general, it's going to be you're going to get a lot more things sticking around than your opponents with that. Pretty cool. Now, speaking of recursion, I don't know if you ever heard of that. We're adding Nethroi, Apex of Death, which is 2 white, black, and green for a 5/5 Death Touch lifelink. It also has Mutate for 4, a Celestia, and 2 black. That's 7 mana. Whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I'm going to double this one up real quick because I'm adding this because we are cutting Reunion of the House, which is a new card. 7 mana with the same text as the mutate deal, but you have to exile it at the end. So there's a chance that we can play Nethroi again from the graveyard. We have a couple cards that do that. And also it's another body. It helps us with Beast Whisperer, 1%, a little bit, and Guardian Project, and it's also just a 5/5 Death Touch lifelink. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of just simply better. All right. And I think the last
One more.
ad is Delney Streetwise Lookout. This is a great card. 2 and a white. Legendary creature, Human Scout. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. That's pretty good for getting your creatures in. And then if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. That's also quite good. Because you got a lot of creatures with less than 2. 2 or less.
We have a lot. My favorite one that I would hope that this could happen for you is Balden Century Herdmaster, which is the in-universe version of E-Honda from Street Fighter. It says whenever it attacks, it's a 0/7. Whenever it attacks up to 100 target creatures each get +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Imagine you do the Tree of Perdition thing with Felothar, and then you have Delney out already, and then you do this, and now all of a sudden all your creatures get +42 +0 +42 twice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy.
Holy crap.
Huge fan. And there's a lot of incidental things where it's like a 2 power creature that like draws you a card when it enters. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we kept a lot of those in there, and there's just lots. There's lots of them.
There's not like an excess of triggers, but this is good in both ways, like you said, with the unblockable bit.
Yeah, I think that's like the big one for it too.
Yeah. So those are our 10 ads, plus one of our cuts already. I got one in there already. That's crazy.
You slipped
Changing
one in.
the formula.
No one else is doing that.
Nobody else is doing that. I've never seen a YouTuber do that. That's crazy, dude. All right, so our number 2 cut in no particular order is, these are all terrible. Rock's Faithmender. 3 and a white for a Rhino Monk, 1/5. Lifelink, if you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. I haven't ran the numbers, but there's almost no ways, like, at least to gain, like, a significant amount of life, enough where you would want to run this card. If you were running the secondary commander, Beator, Ancestor's Voice, yeah, I could see it totally, but that's not what this video is about. You'd have to do a lot more than 10 cards in and 10 cards out to get that one to work.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm not sure why this is in here, besides maybe just a cute little interaction with Beator.
Pretty much. Yeah, that eludes me to Beator, Ancestor's Voice. We're cutting him out for this upgrade. 2 white, black, green, flying lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, put a number of 1/1 counters on up to one other target creature you control equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. Return up to one target creature card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life lost this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield. He does synergize, but he's one of the only life gain payoffs pretty much in the deck. There's not a whole lot. So we kind of cut some of that because there's just not a whole, it's not super reliable. You know, you might as well just go all in on Felothar more than Beator's kind of thing.
Yeah, I just counted. There's like 10 ways to gain life in this deck, and like some of them you don't ever want to do, like Swords to Plowshares your own creature, because all of our creatures have low power, or they gain like 1 or 2 life incidentally, like not.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
And like I said, there's like barely any payoffs for that life gain other than just gaining a little bit of life. So it's kind of whatever, to be honest.
It's not good. Just like Wall of Limbs. 2 and a black for a zombie wall. Cool type line. Defender 0/3. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on it. And then for 7 mana, you can sack it. Target player loses X life, where X is its power. Terrible. Awful.
You're never going to want to do that.
I wouldn't put this in anything. This is a terrible card.
Honestly, just more life gain stuff. Ikra Shadiki the Usurper. 3 black green for a 3/7. Okay, 3/7's good. A Naga Wizard. Menace. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. That can be quite good, but it is not lifelink. It's kind of like a slightly worse lifelink.
Despite what one or more commenters may have told us before in the past, You do not need a dedicated life gain slot
No.
in your decks. That's kind of weird, and I don't think that you should be gaining life in general unless you have a life gain deck or like the card does something else besides that, or you're incidentally gaining life. Like, you do not need this at all. Just like Nyx. I always want to mix up the name of this. Nyx Fleece Ram.
Yeah.
Enchantment creature sheep 0/5 2 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. That is a horrible way to be gaining life. Very slow. Not good. Like I just said, we don't care about gaining life. It's just the stats alone are not worth it. Cut it.
Yeah. It's a 0/5, but whatever. That's pretty much whatever. And then Hornet Nest. 2 and a green. It reads well. Insect Defender. When it is dealt damage, you put that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch on the battlefield. It's not horrible, don't get me wrong, but most people aren't going to attack into it. They're just not. That's just plain and simple. Or if they do, they're probably going to get
either for 2 damage.
Yeah. Yeah. If they do send something at you, it'll be like something inconsequential, like a 2 or a 3, so that you only get 2 or 3 of them, which, I mean, hey, it ain't terrible, but yeah, it's not good either.
I would maybe consider this in a deck where you could run Blasphemous Act, but we don't have red, so it's not worth it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be a good one.
Actually. Don't like this card. Kolfinor's Urn. 3 mana artifact. Whenever a creature with toughness 4 or greater is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may remove it. Remove it from the game. I'm reading an old version. It says,
"Oh, yeah. Whoops."
At end of turn, if 3 or more cards have been exiled from the game with this card, sacrifice it. If you do, return those cards to play under their owner's control. It's like just kind of weird. Like, I'd rather not like be limited by when we play this card and stuff. So like Dusk to Dawn that we added earlier is kind of a better replacement for this. It is a couple more mana, but like you can get everything back late game. Plus it has the board wipes stapled onto it. This has nothing but sadness stapled onto it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, and it has to be at end of turn, so you don't even really get to use them, because it's at end of turn. You get them back. So the whole table has a chance to deal with your board that you rebuilt. It's not like insanely horrible, and I bet I could see people popping off with it, but like you said, weird. It's like a clunky card. It's hard to describe.
I don't like it. I don't remember what card we're talking about.
Kolfinor's Urn. It doesn't.
Oh yeah, I don't like it at all. I was just checked out, dude. I do not like that card.
Oh, and a forest. We cut a forest.
We did cut a forest.
Oh shit! Never mind.
He's ready to skip past.
Yeah,
Talpa,
I forgot
Primal Dawn.
About him.
I don't know if you've ever seen the meme. It's like a Zatalpa, and it says it has flapping, double slapping,
flapping. Oh my! Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Scrapping for the trample.
Yeah.
Unflappable. It's 8 mana, which is a lot. At 8 mana, we want to be like winning the game or
this
something.
This is probably the time I've seen Zatalpa actually make the most sense in a commander deck. And it's still cuttable.
Yeah, so 8 mana, 4/8. Flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible. Keyword soup.
Yeah.
Not worth it here. I just don't think this card is good. Maybe if it was like less mana, even though it is.
He assigns 8, so he's like a 16 damage in the air.
Yeah, but
it isn't terrible, but it's still 8 mana.
Do nothing.
Yeah, 8 mana, do nothing.
I think the only haste we have in the deck is
Crashing Drawbridge.
We have Crashing Drawbridge, which actually would help. And the boots. We got Swiftfoot boots, but at that point it becomes a 9 mana 16 in the air.
But 8 mana to do 16 in the air.
It's not worth
is
it.
not great, especially with the E-Honda guy that we just talked about, who can do way more for less.
Yeah, E-Honda's
Way
like,
more. I forgot his name, but
no, his name is E-Honda, but he's got
the in-universe version.
the in-universe name, Balden.
Yeah, Balden.
Century Herdmaster, and that's 6 mana, and it pumps your entire board.
I'd rather have him than Zatalpa.
Anyway, I've seen a lot of people say this Precon is the worst of the bunch, and that may or may not be true. But I like it a lot. I think it's kind of neat. What's the tree guy? Doran, the Siege Tower. He's dead to everybody now because we got Felothar, who does
He's
a lot
literally
more.
just better.
Yeah, I mean, Doran's 1 mana less, but you also don't get the sack or the defender bit. It's just the toughness damage bit. Anyway, that's our 10 cards in, 10 cards out upgrade video of the best Abzan armor ultimate guide upgrade of all time. I would love to thank our patrons, Richard Dilkes, King Dom, and Ed Solaire. Thank you for watching. Please consider becoming a patron, where you may or may not be getting a shout out, along with other perks in the future. Bye.
Yeah, that's fine.